Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style. Our last interview was with the composer Brad Ross from Just Desserts, a new off-Broadway musical that highlights the trials and tribulations of being in a bake-off in a county fair. Today, we are with Barbara Ashford, who wrote the book, and Tom Wallace, who is the director. And we're going to learn how you put together a musical. Barbara, let's start with you. Was this your baby? Did it start with you?
No, actually, it started with Brad. And I probably should point out that Barbara Campbell is my real name. Barbara Ashford, which you see on the screen, is a pseudonym that I use for writing novels, which
Oh, okay.
I've had a number of those published over the years. But Just Desserts was the brainchild of Brad, who came to me with the idea, and we just sort of put our heads together and took it and ran with it.
Brad, what made you decide to go with Barbara?
Um, Barbara and I had met years before at the BMI Musical Theater Workshop. Um, we had written a wonderful Christmas song. We had written a couple of, actually, also some children's material for the school educational market, the choral market that were published. I liked the work we had done together. In fact, the Christmas song just got done last December, and by a symphony orchestra and a vocalist. And I liked Barbara, and so I approached her.
What was, how long was it before Tom became involved in it? Tom, you get to answer.
I came on board I just looked it up. I came on board in the fall of 2016. Brad and Barbara were doing a reading at Actors Connection, and they asked Tony Nation, who runs Actors Connection, if he knew of someone who could direct. And Tony had just seen something I had done on 43rd Street, so he recommended me. So I've been with the project since the fall of 2016.
Wow. So was this before or after COVID?
Before, before.
And when you all got involved, Brad, what were the first steps? How in building a musical, I think one of the things people don't understand is how long between writing to getting it up, to getting it produced, and to getting it even off Broadway. Can you
So,
lead
so
us?
Barbara, when did we start?
It was probably only a year before Tom got involved, and basically what happened is Brad and I talked through the show. The book came first, and then the book guided us in terms of what musical numbers we needed. Now, because we were working with a bake-off, we kind of had a prearranged schedule of what the songs might be, because we figured there were different categories of baking, and each would have a song. Each of the contestants would need a song. So that gave us some general guidelines. And then when we started doing readings, then we would see, okay, this works, this doesn't work. We jettisoned one character completely, invented a new one, and did a series of, I don't know, 2, 3 readings to get a sense of what was working before we actually went into our first production, which was, I think, Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, 2021 up at the Legacy Theater in Connecticut.
Right. Yes. Yes. So
In doing this production, and I don't remember what came first at this point, which I should have looked up. There is a reality TV show. Brad didn't know of this, but there's a reality TV baking show that takes place in county fairs. Had you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Because I swear you guys could seriously parallel, what do you say it?
Parallel?
Each other. Yes.
piggyback.
Because seriously, it's kind of like that in a strange
Hmm.
way. Tom, what was the first thing you wanted to do when you got involved with the project?
Well, the story was very different. When we did the first reading, there was a character that was a good character, but it didn't really work for the piece. And Brad and Barbara were fantastic in taking advice, and they ran with it, and they ended up creating the character of Lou, who I think is an amazing addition to the show.
Oh, I like
So,
Luke's show.
yeah,
I
exactly,
like the
exactly.
Sopranos
And
joined.
well, it's the other character was just he didn't have an uplifting story. He had a very down, uh, depressing storyline, and it didn't really work for the piece.
Yeah, it was too
So
serious. He was just too
it was too
serious.
serious. And this Lou, and I think La Familia is a great song, and I think it moves the story along better.
I think
So
what I like about that character most is it's kind of like you've done a tongue in cheek to The Sopranos.
Mm,
And so you think that, well, is it going this way? Is it going that way? It actually makes you think, which way is it going to go? Which
right.
I think is,
well, it's been cast differently in the past,
Hmm.
and Barbara was the one who said, "What's the character's name from The Godfather?" Luca
Oh,
Brasi.
I always saw Lou physically as being kind of a Luca Brasi type, this big, kind of
Right.
forbidding character, but inside he's very different.
right.
So
He's a marshmallow.
and that was that kind of contrast that I thought would be fun to play with.
In doing the show, Magda's and my favorite character is the MC slash the boyfriend. In
Yep.
casting that and in getting that kind of character, what were you looking for when you were casting it?
Um, uh, I was looking for a song and dance man who totally thought he was the bomb, thought he was number one, and didn't realize he was at a local county fair. It's this isn't the big time, and we found Michael, and he's great.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more pleased.
No, he's wonderful. When
Yeah.
Barbara, when you were writing this role, what did you want out of this role?
Well, much like what Tom was saying, I saw this as a very Teflon kind of character. The other people are they may be putting on an act and acting sweet when they're really cutthroat inside, but this guy is completely on the surface. He's shallow, he's Teflon, he's always there with the big smile. So that's what I wanted, someone who was insincere, completely focused on himself and not focused on anybody else.
In a strange way, he reminds me of the character in Dog Show.
Oh,
Um,
exactly,
Oh, okay,
exactly. The
yes.
Fred Willard, the
yeah.
Fred
Oh,
Willard
Best in Show,
character.
yes. Oh, yes.
Best in
Oh,
show.
oh,
Oh,
Is that
there,
what you
that's
th
the
mean?
show. Sorry, I always call it the Dog Show.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, exactly,
I think I
exactly.
think Fred Willard is actually a nicer person. He's kind of clueless, whereas this guy, I don't think he's nice. I don't think he's a nice guy, but he comes across as funny because he's trying so hard to be, the center of the show.
Did you always expect that character to double play as the boyfriend?
We we were thinking when Brad and I were writing it, we were thinking of trying to keep the cast small. It could be done with a completely different character playing the boyfriend. But it
No,
was kind of fun.
like
It
that
was
it is.
kind of fun because everybody then in the cast gets a chance to play multiple roles.
No, I like that part because again, with the financials of theater,
Mm.
yes, it's great to keep the cast small, but it's also great to see different aspects of an actor, of a character, and especially when they're done well.
Well, I think it's
Well,
fun
I
for the
also
actors too. You get to be different, different
exactly.
people in the course of a show.
Um,
It's where Brandy uh, is, you know, fun loving, bubbly. She gets to play the mother who is completely different, and so they get a chance to show their chops.
which
So
is great for an actor, but also for an audience. I don't think people realize
Hmm.
it's actually a lot of fun for an audience when the characters are done well. When it's like somebody's playing multiple roles and you don't know who, what, when, where, and how,
Hmm.
not so fun. But when they can, it's great to watch.
well, it's very funny because I've had several friends come see the show, several uh, producers of local theaters in other states. And one thing they said is that the audience is so involved.
Yeah.
And And there was a show that I was not at, but I heard from the stage manager that people were calling out who they wanted to win. So,
I'm actually surprised you didn't allow that to happen, like an Edwin Drood. That was actually the one thing that did surprise me.
well, the thing is, but the thing with Edwin Drood is you saw the storylines. In this, you haven't tasted any of the food. So you would be just voting for who you liked.
Yes, but isn't that how we vote for things anyway?
No, this is it's about a bake-off. It's supposed to be the food.
I know, but still, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what it is in the world. It's about, sadly to say, the people.
Yes, but it is about the people. But the thing is that it would make no sense to have you voting on a bake-off because you would just be voting on personality, and then the same people would win all the time.
Oh, not necessarily. I would have voted for Clea. I would wanted to see Clea win again.
Well, it's something we can think about, certainly. And it's something that an individual theater might want to do in terms of not having, 5 different endings written, but maybe there's a vote for the fan favorite. That's a possibility where the audience gets to be involved and, vote on who they like.
I love the fact that you have a different famous bakery selling wares at the end of it. I know that's Brad's idea, but were you two very happy and thrilled with this idea as well?
Sure, it's a great tie-in, and it's also a great way for the bakers to get their stuff out there and to be to become known. So yeah, no, I think it's a great tie-in.
Yeah, I always thought that theater should have product placement. I mean, movies do. Why not theater?
Right.
It would take the cost down of doing theater down so much. And I think there's so many different ways to do that. So I'm always surprised that producers and people don't write that into their show so that there's an automatic producing entity involved. Have you ever thought about doing that? Did I just stun everybody?
Well, no, I don't. What are you saying? Like having Pillsbury sponsor the show, something like that?
No, like a prime example is my friend Pat Addis produced Promises, Promises.
Okay.
And she had the brilliant idea of when they sang She's Like Basketball, she likes basketball, of having the Knicks and wearing the Knicks shirts, which I thought was brilliant. But
Okay.
the people were like, oh, no, 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 no. And then when it came to selling merchandise, you know how they sing Say a Little Prayer for You? Of having shirts be pink with breast cancer awareness tied in with Promises, Promises. And I thought those were brilliant, brilliant ideas. And I don't understand why people don't do things like that.
In all honesty, it could be. I can't answer to the breast cancer awareness, but the Knicks, you would have to get the Knicks approval.
Oh, she had it.
Oh, she did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that then I don't know.
But the marketing people were like, no, it doesn't fit in our box.
Okay.
And I think at this point, you have to think out of the box.
So I've been working on, I've been talking to people about kind of a sponsorship or product placement. You could have Domino Sugar, you could have Gold Medal Flour, you could have Hostess Brands, Chips Ahoy, Pepperidge Farm, Entenmann's, Pillsbury, as Tom said. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that could happen on that side of the equation.
But it's a great way to keep theater alive, keep prices down for people to enjoy the theater. And what's it hurting? And you know what I mean? In a sense, it makes it a little more real. Like if I'm seeing Pillsbury Flour, I wouldn't think this was product placement. I would be like, oh, smart. Or gold bond or any of those. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's a smart way in which to finally produce shows so that everybody succeeds.
Right. The way it is now, when you do have something on stage, like let's say we had a Coca-Cola bottle, we would have to cover that.
Right.
Unless we had the approval of Coca-Cola, you know what I mean?
Or
you can't.
Unless Coke paid you to put it in.
Right, but the thing is, you can't, the way the rules state now, when you do something on Broadway or off Broadway, you have to cover it up unless you have the approval of and the endorsement of the product.
But what I'm saying is that partnerships need to be made.
No, I
Because
get it. I get it. I'm just saying the rules
it's getting
now.
way expensive. I mean,
Yeah, oh, it's ridiculous.
I can't complain about this honestly because again, I review like every show or at least every show that I can get to. Um,
Right.
so as much as that filters into my review, it doesn't. Um, but I do try to keep that in mind when I write about things because a lot of times I'll be asking people to spend $200 to $300. In the case of Ragtime, 1,000. And
Well, years ago, I won't say the show, but I went to the box office and said, "Can I have the two?" They don't have to be together, but at close a date. And the guy slid them through, and he said, "That'll be $1,500." And
yeah,
I was like, "What?" So I put them back, and I said, "When can I get a normal price ticket?" And it was like 10 months away.
no, I know.
So
And that's
yeah,
insane. I mean,
yeah,
that
it
is,
is. It's crazy. That's crazy. So.
what would you like audiences to take? I want each of you to answer this question. What would you like audiences to take away from Just Desserts? Tom, you can start.
Actually, what I think they're taking away what I wanted them to take away. I want them to go to the theater. I want them to have a good time. I want them to feel for the characters, and I want them to walk away saying, "God, that was a lot of fun." And that's basically the feedback I'm getting. So
I
I
would agree
I
with
think
that.
we did our job. So
Barbara, do
well,
you want
Oh,
to add?
well, much like Tom, I think this is a feel good show. I think it's you come out feeling good about what you've seen, and feeling good, I think, about yourself. It to me, it's even though it's set at a competition, ultimately, I think the characters come together, and I think that's something we very much need. And so for me, those are the important takeaways.
And Brad?
Yeah, I like what Barbara said, which is I'm it warms my heart to see audiences come out smiling. And also I love the Barbara's writing that these five strangers that don't know each other, in fact, well, some of them do, but not perhaps as fondly, can can come as adversaries or not knowing each other and then walk out as friends.
Um, from each of you, and Tom, we're going to start with you.
okay.
What kind of show do you want to work on that you haven't had a chance to work on?
Um. Uh. I am a Noel Coward fanatic. So anything Noel Coward. I've done quite a few, but there are a couple I haven't done. So anything Noel Coward.
Mm.
So
Barbara, what haven't you written that you would like to write?
Um, I would like to write um I would like to write for older actors because I am now an older writer. But I also, I mean, my novels are fantasies, and
What
so
are your novels?
oh, well, I have a series called Spells at the Crossroads that's set at a summer stock theater, and I drew on my own acting roots for that. And then I have a dark fantasy series as well, written under my real name, Barbara Campbell, the Trickster's Game trilogy. But I do enjoy writing fantasy, and so I think that would be fun to see. Having done it in fiction, it would be interesting for me to play around with doing it on stage.
You're going to love my next question. Is it really fiction, or are you trying to say something that the world just can't take on right now?
In what I'm writing, I think there are truths in every fiction.
I'm a big fan of sci-fi, but the reason I'm a fan of it is because a lot of times sci-fi is basically the truths that people don't want to face.
Hmm.
So I know you probably didn't expect that question, but Magda would have.
Well,
And
I think you're right. I think it makes us think. It shows us, how people act in different environments, the best and the worst, and what can we learn? What can we learn, Dorothy? So yeah, I think speculative fiction of all kinds does that.
I agree. And Brad, I think I might have asked you this before, but we're back to this question again.
Well, what I said before was I'd like to write a period show. I'd like to write an edgy pop score, and I'd also like to write a gospel show a la The Wiz. But
I would love to see you do an edgy pop score.
I could do
What
it.
period, Brad? What period?
Well, yeah, yeah. So I had mentioned, I mean, early or 19th century, because the
Okay.
tapestry of music is rich, whether it's American or European. The edgy pop would probably be something contemporary American. Barbara sang fantasy, that would engage my musical imagination quite a bit in a happy way too.
And Magda, your turn. What questions would you like to ask?
How you feel that your collaboration has flourished? Like, what was the magic?
Well, I think we challenge each other, but I think we're also a very open. I think because we've worked in the business for a number of years, we're open to collaboration. We're open to hearing that works, that doesn't work, and I think that openness is the key to a successful collaboration of any kind.
Anybody else want to add to that?
I agree. And I also, I love when an actor comes to me and says, "Hey, could I try this?"
Hmm.
And I say, "Absolutely." And after they try it, I might say, "No, that doesn't work." Or I might say that's fantastic. So, I love actors who are thinking on their feet, and when it shows me that they've delved into the character, I love that. Love
And
that.
from a writer's point of view, I agree entirely, because you can envision it in your head, and it can all seem like, oh, okay, it all works on the page, but until you see it, until you see and get what the actors bring to it, and they always bring unexpected things, and that's a really exciting part of the collaboration.
And Brad,
The question again is
What was the magic in the
collaboration.
collaboration?
the
Why
collaboration.
we're fabulous, Brad. Say why we're fabulous.
Well, I only write the music, and so it's all about collaboration for me, right? It's collaborating with Barbara on the lyrics. It's collaborating with the actors because they can sing it and I can't. It's collaborating with Tom because he's bringing alive the performance. So I love the collaborative process in all permutations.
Brad, I've heard you
It
sing.
was also fun casting this, because we all, there were only we were looking for 4 roles for this, but 2 were already cast, 3 were already cast, and it was great fun to see, like, what Brad thought, what I thought, what Barbara thought when we got all the submissions, because some of us had very different ideas, and it wasn't until Barbara said to me, "I really see this as a Luca Brasi," from that I said, "Okay, I know who it should be."
Oh,
So, yeah.
I just want to say that the character, I forgot his name, I'm sorry. The host.
Ian.
And
Oh, yes.
Zach
reminded me of Robert Preston. I don't know
Mm.
why.
Okay,
There's something
I
Robert
can see
Preston
that.
about him.
I can see that. I can absolutely see that. So,
Well,
yep.
I used to cast, so that's why.
Okay. Okay.
That's great.
Well, it was great. It was great fun, and our casting director Holly was so helpful, because I can't even tell you the number of submissions we had for this. It was beyond the pale, and she sorted through and got it down to a reasonable number before we could see things, because there's no way that Brad, Barbara, and I could have looked at all these tapes. It would have been insane. So,
where would you like to see this show go after AMT? Is there an album? Is anyone thinking of doing an album of this?
that's actually a great idea. to do a recording, but that is expensive. That is expensive.
Yeah.
And I think if we were going to do a recording, it would be with this cast. Don't you agree, Brad?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I want to see the show licensed so that theaters everywhere can do it.
Have people looked at it to license it yet?
Not
Brad?
yet. There are some coming, but not yet.
Okay.
Brad, get together with me later because Larry Harbison and I are good friends and he still helps people license stuff.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I will.
You're welcome.
That would be great. That would be great because this show would work anywhere in the United States.
I agree. And especially,
Yep.
honestly, where county fairs are.
Well, and
Exactly.
we've had productions in the Midwest, we've had productions in Florida, Virginia, so it's been done in a lot of different places. So,
Right.
yeah, I'd like to see more of that.
And
Has
also
this-
in Brampton, Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The theater.
absolutely. It would be a huge hit in Branson.
But
So,
have you thought of taking it to like Great Britain, where the Great British Bake Off is, or China or Japan? I love those shows where people cook, and believe me, they're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Well, anything is possible. At this point, I would like to see us get a firm footing in this country. And I think that's the best way that we can, if we're going to take it beyond the US, I think that's the best way to do it, is to get a firm footing here.
Well, surprisingly enough, China has the most money to do this. They have like an amazing amount of money.
Right.
And theaters are like phenomenal,
Right.
massively phenomenal. Please tell us when and where the show plays and how long it plays.
I can do that. So we have performances this weekend tonight, Thursday night, Friday night at 7, Saturday, the 14th of February, 2 and 7, and Sunday, at the 15th of February at 3 p.m. And then our final week is next week, Wednesday, the 18th through Sunday, the 22nd of February, with performances at Wednesday at 2 and 7, Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, next Saturday, the 21st at 2 and 7, and our closing performance on Sunday, February 22nd at 3 p.m.
Brad, you did that so extremely well. I would like to thank Brad, Barbara, and Tom for being my guests, for helping us learn more about how an off-Broadway show gets put together and how it works. I am Susanna Bowling. Magda Katz has been filming and videoing. This is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style.